Hello, this is a video showing you how to design a kayak in one of the simplest methods on Fusion. Let's go for it. I'm going to first draw the cross section by starting a sketch on one of my two vertical planes. I'm going to draw a line that gives me the height of the boat in the middle, and I'm going to go up 12 inches and enter. Now I'm going to click on that line and hit X on my keyboard to make it a dotted construction line. And I'm going to put my dimension way off to the side. Then I'm going to go grab the line tool and draw the deck, which is going to angle down to shed water. And then I'm going to draw the sides, which are going to angle in slightly to add secondary stability a little bit. And then I'm going to draw the bottom that's going to give the chine that supports the boat, mostly its primary stability and its ability to cut through waves. Now, I would highly recommend trying something a little bit more advanced if you're interested by adding another deck chine or trying another bottom chine and adjusting something around there. Which would be very interesting to do, but I'm just going to stick to the very simplest for this version right here. Now, the boats I've been designing so far are about 2 feet wide, so I'm going to make half the boat about 1 foot wide. And I think you don't want very much angle at the bottom, so I'm going to give it just a little bit, somewhere around there. Now we're going to mirror to get exact symmetry. Select my mirror line, copy across, and that's it for our cross section. Finish sketch. Use the home button to look at it from a side view. Turn on your origin, and let's start a sketch on the longitudinal plane for the boat right here, the lengthwise plane. And I'm going to draw a line out here that is angled to be the bow of the boat, and another line over here that is maybe slightly less angled to be the stern of the boat or the back of the boat. I want to have some control over how long the boat is now, so I'm going to use D for dimension and dimension the length to the bow as a unit in feet. So I'm going to go with a boat that's about 14 feet long, so I'm going to do a 7-foot measurement there. And I also want to control the amount of curvature in the bottom of the boat, or its rocker, and I want that to be between 1 and 4 inches. I'm going to do 2.5 on this one. And I could control for the height of the bow as well. I'm going to do the same amount of rocker on the stern, 2.5, and I'm going to do the same length for the back half of the boat and do 7 FT. Oh, and it did a thing where it went all over the place. Let's correct for that. There we go. I think that's too tall. I'm going to bring that down a little bit for the back. The back generally should be a little bit lower than the front. Okay, now I'm going to draw my curvature. Finish sketch. Now there's a good argument for making another cross section at this point to make a lower back to the boat and a higher front, so the boat performs better in waves and is easier to get in and out of. But again, sticking to the simplest here, but you could do offset planes and create added curvature and complexity at any point along the boat by starting a sketch on a plane at any point along the way. All right, we're going to now start a new sketch, and it doesn't really matter where you choose, but I'm going to choose this plane again, and then I'm going to use a fit point spline. Now I'm going to turn on my 3D sketch mode here. So then I can select, is it gonna let me? Let me select a tool again. There we go. I can go from here to the top middle to the back top. Check. And go now to the bottom. Go slow, make sure you see the box so you're actually selecting the actual location. And now we're going to do the chines. The deck, side of the deck there. And this side, the bottom, chine. And the other side of the boat. Now we actually aren't really going to use both sides of the boat because you want to design one half of something and mirror it at the last possible second, which is not right now. It would be later in the design process. But I'm going to show a full boat now so that it looks a little bit more interesting. But know that you really only have to do half of the boat. Okay, finished sketch. Now it would be lovely if we could use this patch command here, and if we go into our surface modeling and go into patch, you can pretty easily grab some shapes and make the side of your boat. Now that is a great way to go, but there's a problem with that in that the program that I use to disassemble the boat so that we can build it doesn't flatten those shapes reliably and really doesn't flatten them at all. And so we need to do a different technique. I'm going to go undo that, go back to solid modeling, and then click on my create form button. This starts out pretty challenging, and then once you get the hang of it, isn't so bad. We're going to create a plane, and that plane in this T-spline modeling workspace is going to start on our side on the vertical panel. And we're not going to do a center rectangle, we're going to switch it to a 2-point rectangle. And we're going to make it very slightly bigger than the boat. Now, this is, it's possible to make almost any shape, but we have to limit the type of shape that we make so that it will be possible to turn it into plywood later. If you imagine a plywood sheet sitting on the table or a sheet of paper sitting on the table, you can't bulge out the middle of the paper without forming crinkles or wrinkles. The same goes for plywood. You cannot bend it in 2 dimensions at once to create a fully formed 3D shape. It only bends in one plane at a time. And to control for that, we need to create a certain number of faces lengthwise. I'm going to write 10 right here to see which one's which. That's the side we do want a certain number of lines, but the only number of lines we need is 3. And then in the width faces, in this case, we want 1. These numbers could be switched depending on what you do need. Actually, I'm going to go down to 2 for this one in this design. I'm going to click OK. Now, I'm going to use this feature called pull. Modify, pull, right here. We're going to use this a lot. I'm going to connect this point here to this point, pull type auto to select targets, and I'm going to go to there. And I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to pull it to there. Come on. Oh, you have to do each command over and over again, right? Come on, select target. There we go. Now, okay. To repeat a command in Fusion, hold right click, drag your mouse up, and we're going to repeat pull. I'm going to pull this one down and attach it to that one right there. Okay. Right click, drag up, repeat pull. I'm going to grab this piece here, and I'm going to attach it to this piece here. And OK. Right click, pull up. This one's a little hard to see. I want to grab that point and connect it to this point over here. All right, OK, getting close here. And come on. Grab this piece, connect it to this piece. Okay, right click, repeat pull. Connect this piece to this piece. And now the sides of my boat are very closely matching, but not exactly matching the design that we gave it. All right, next thing we're gonna do, you'll notice also we could have skipped the stage with the curved lines. And if I were to turn off this, not that, this, you could do the same thing without that at all. Okay, now I'm going to show you the hard part of doing this panel here. Notice this panel would come to a point at the end. Our program is not going to like that, so we have to do a little hack here where we change it up a little bit. Create a plane. On this time, this surface is a little bit easier to start with. Do a 2-point rectangle again. I'm gonna get a good top view. And do it a little bit bigger than half the boat. Again, we have to figure out which one's which here. I'm gonna type 3. Wait, no, that's right. So I wanna do actually just 2 there. And my width faces at 1. Is that gonna turn out okay? Yes. All right, now this corner here is gonna get pulled to this corner by connecting that to that, and click OK. This corner, however, is going to go close to it, but not quite all the way, using a Edit Form button. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to get a good back view first, and I'm going to pull it up to the level and go very close to, but not all the way. Oops. Cancel. Get lost. Control Z is your friend. And I'm going to pull this over and go up slightly. And then over. Okay, that's very close to, but not touching the other side. And now I got to look at it from the side view too to make sure I didn't do anything wonky there. Yeah, this can come back a little bit to be in line with that edge. So I really wish we didn't have to do this, but it does not work to not have some line right here. Okay, next we can do a standard pull here, where we can connect this one to this point here. It's okay that there's a crack there. That won't matter. You'll see why later. And pull. We're going to connect to this point. I think it's that point. Yes, to this point here. And click OK. Now over here we have to do the same as the back. Pull this corner to this corner here. Click OK, and then use an Edit Form to move this corner up, over, up, and let's see the front view now. Pull this over, and I think that's probably pretty close. Yes. Now notice this one got moved a little bit away. We can pull that again by going to pull, connect that to there, and it's a little bit more accurate to the boat now. Okay, so we would do the same thing for the top as well. Start a plane on this face, 2 point, slightly bigger than half the boat. And you have to do the exact same tricks as before. That's the one we want. So don't want. Okay. And might be a little bit easier to use an M for move copy first to move this up closer to where you're shooting for, and then do the pulls from there. So I'm going to do the middle first this time. I think it's arbitrary which one. As far as I know, it doesn't matter. And then we'll pull this one here to there. And then we'll pull this one to there. And then we'll pull this one to there. All right, now we'll do our edit form. And hopefully that's close enough. Let me go get the other side. Edit form, that over, and back a little bit. Oh, that's a lot going on there. Yeah, back a little bit. And we'll see how we're doing vertically. A little lower. And then re-pull the center. Got very moved around. Back to that corner. There we go. Okay, so we have the cross sections, the wireframe, and then the planes, the T-spline planes. Here's the last step. Finish form. And then we're going to create a box that is bigger than the boat and bigger than only half the boat. So I'm going to start here and look at it from the top and go from there all the way a little bit bigger than half the boat. And then we're going to control for the height. Let's see, I can look at it from this way. Bring this up. And there we go. And I want to make sure my boat is fully encased. It looks to be fully encased. Ooh, looks like that center line's a little off. So I'm going to use a Q for press pull command. Click on this side and just bring it over to make sure it crosses center line there. All right, let's start slicing and dicing this into the shape of a boat now. We're going to use the split body command. Grab this thing and then select our splitting tool. First splitting tool to use is the origin. This gets a little busy here too. I'm going to turn off stuff and grab this slicer right here and click OK. Then I'm going to turn both bodies on. That's the one I don't want. Right click on it and remove. Don't delete, but remove. Now we've got just exactly half the boat. I'm going to then split body again. I'm going to cut this body using this plane. And I'm going to extend the splitting tool. Oops, that's wrong. This body using this plane and extend splitting tool and OK. Now I've got this one, which is the boat, and this one, which is not the boat. Right click on it and remove it. Can also get rid of this plane, but I don't need to do that yet. Split body, split the body of the boat using a different plane. Extend splitting tool, OK. Gave me trouble, it didn't like that. So I'm going to do the side first. Split body, I'm going to split this body using not that one. split this body using this curve, extend splitting tool, okay. Now I've got this, which is the boat, and this is not the boat, and I'm going to remove that. I can turn off my sketches now to see better. Very close, just gotta slice the bottom. Hopefully it works. I'm going to split this body using this splitting tool, extend splitting tool, okay. And this time it does work. I'm gonna find that is the boat. That is not the boat. Right click on it and remove it. Now I have all of my geometry in a form I can actually use. You're going to mirror this boat across its center plane and join it to make the shape. And that we can work with. All right, long video, but I know it's confusing, but this is the skill that lets us build so many cool things. So hopefully you can follow along and try it out.